The Young and the Restless spoilers full Tuesday update August 19, 2025. The world of Genoa City was about to get even more complicated, and the web of secrets and lies seemed to grow ever tighter. For Billy Abbott, the reunion with Delia was only the beginning of an emotional roller coaster that would rock the foundations of his life. As he navigated the shock of discovering his daughter was alive and the painful truth of Kane's betrayal, other relationships in his life were also being tested in ways he could never have imagined. Chelsea Lawson had always been a part of the fabric of Billy's life, and their interactions had always carried an undercurrent of tension and unresolved feelings. But now, in the midst of the chaos that had overtaken him, he was about to run into Chelsea again, this time in the most unexpected place. The Jazz Club, a venue known for its casual elegance, was hosting an evening filled with the usual blend of live music and gossip. And as fate would have it, Chelsea was there. Billy had been working tirelessly to regain control of his life and business, but with everything that had happened, he wasn't prepared for the questions Chelsea was about to ask. Sally Spectra, now the leader of the new company Billy had planned to start, was the one to push him to confront the reality of his situation. As they approached Chelsea, Billy could sense the tension building. He knew Chelsea would have questions, and he wasn't sure how much he was ready to reveal. Chelsea, ever the businesswoman, was direct. "Billy," she began, eyeing him curiously. "How's Abbott Communications doing? Are you planning on launching the company anytime soon?" It was a simple enough question, but the weight of it hit Billy like a ton of bricks. The company he had planned to build, the company that had once been a part of his dream for the future, had changed. The plans had shifted, and now Sally was at the helm. Billy wasn't sure how to feel about it all, but he knew one thing for certain: he wasn't in charge anymore. Sally, sensing Billy's hesitation, stepped forward to answer Chelsea's question. "Actually, yes," she said with a confident smile. "I'm leading the company now, and we're in the process of preparing for the official launch." "Billy's still a part of the vision, though." Chelsea raised an eyebrow, clearly surprised. "So, if Sally's running the new company, where does that leave you, Billy?" Billy paused, his mind racing. The truth was hard to swallow. He had hoped for a fresh start, but now it seemed like the dream he had clung to was slipping away. He wanted to make sure Chelsea understood that he wasn't giving up entirely. He had his own plans in motion. "I've got some exciting news, Chelsea. Something I'll be revealing soon," he said cryptically. "But I'm still involved, even if things have taken a turn." Chelsea looked at him, her curiosity piqued. "I'm sure it'll be interesting," she said, but there was a hint of skepticism in her voice. She wasn't convinced by Billy's vague answer, and neither was he. He knew the road ahead was going to be difficult, especially with everything happening in his personal life. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Genoa City, Holden Novak was having a conversation with Daniel Romalotti at the society bar. The two men, though not close, had always had an uneasy relationship, and tonight that tension was about to boil over. Holden had been trying to maintain a low profile, keeping his secrets hidden in the shadows. But Daniel, ever the inquisitive one, wasn't going to let him off so easily. Daniel, sensing something was off about Holden, began to press him with questions. "Holden, you've been acting strange lately. What's going on? Are you hiding something?" Holden's face tightened, his jaw clenching as he tried to maintain his composure. "What are you trying to say, Daniel? Are you accusing me of something?" Daniel hesitated but pressed on. "I just get the feeling you're keeping something from me. Is this about Kane? Is he behind all of this?" Holden's anger flared up. "Don't try to drag me into whatever you think Kane's up to. I'm not here to answer to you." The conversation was escalating quickly, with Daniel growing more frustrated by the second. But Holden wasn't going to give up his secrets so easily. "You think I'm involved in some scheme with Kane?" Holden spat. "You have no idea what you're talking about." Daniel, trying to stay calm, looked Holden in the eyes. "I'm just trying to understand what's going on, Holden. I don't want to make enemies, but you're making it hard to trust you." The tension between the two men was palpable, and as they continued to argue, the secrets they both carried threatened to come to light. It was clear that Holden had his own agenda, but whether that was connected to Kane or something else entirely remained to be seen. What was clear was that Holden was willing to do whatever it took to protect himself, and anyone who tried to pry too deeply into his affairs would be met with resistance. Back at the Abbott family home, the situation was also heating up. Nate Hastings was about to receive a visit from Claire, and it was clear that the conversation was going to be an important one. Nate, ever the professional, was prepared for whatever was coming, but Claire's words would shake him to his core. "I need to talk to you about Audra," Claire said, her voice low and urgent. "There's something you need to know about who she really is." Nate raised an eyebrow, sensing the seriousness in her tone. "What about her? What's going on?" Claire hesitated for a moment before speaking, her eyes filled with concern. "Audra isn't who you think she is, Nate. There's something about her past, something she's hiding. I think you deserve to know the truth." Nate felt a sinking feeling in his stomach as he processed her words. "What are you talking about, Claire? What has she been hiding?" Claire took a deep breath, her eyes locked on his. "There's a side of Audra you don't know, Nate. And if you care about her, you need to know what's really going on." The conversation that followed would change everything Nate thought he knew about Audra, and it might very well be the end of their relationship as he knew it. Trust was a fragile thing, and once it was broken, it was hard to rebuild. But Nate had to decide if the truth was something he was ready to hear, and whether the truth would set him free or destroy the relationship he had fought so hard to build. As the tangled web of lies and secrets continued to unravel in Genoa City, it was clear that no one was safe. Billy, Sally, Chelsea, Holden, Daniel, Nate, and Claire were all caught in a whirlwind of emotional conflict and betrayal, and the repercussions of their actions would be felt for years to come. The question now was, who would come out on top, and who would be left standing when the dust finally settled? One thing was certain, no one in Genoa City could escape the truth for long, and the fallout from the lies would be far-reaching. The Newman brothers have always been at the heart of Genoa City's power struggles, but this time, the weight of their family legacy is pulling them in different directions. Victor, as usual, is the mastermind orchestrating his sons' lives like pieces on a chessboard, but this time, his plan involves not just the business world but also Nick's personal loyalties and relationships. At Crimson Lights, Nick and Sharon share a quiet moment, a fleeting sense of peace amidst the chaos that surrounds them. Nick, ever the loyal son, is determined to follow in his father's footsteps, as much as it pains him to admit it. He can't deny the pull of family duty, even when that means aligning with someone like Kane Ashby, someone with a history of manipulation and deception that has caused nothing but turmoil for the Newman family. Nick's eyes narrow as he explains to Sharon, "Victor's got a plan. He wants me to get close to Kane, to be his friend, and make him think we're on the same team." Sharon listens intently, her expression a mixture of concern and disbelief. She knows Nick's sense of loyalty runs deep, especially when it comes to Victor, but this plan feels like it's testing the very foundation of their relationship. Nick's loyalty to his family and his father's wishes are clear, but Sharon knows just how dangerous Kane can be. She can't help but worry about Nick getting tangled up in something that could tear apart the fragile peace they've been trying to build. Nick leans back in his chair, his eyes intense. It's the only way to protect the family. Kane's been gunning for Jabot for a while now, and Victor thinks he'll be easier to manage if I can befriend him. The words hang in the air, heavy with the weight of their implications. As much as Sharon wants to stand by Nick, she can't help but feel a sense of unease. She knows how manipulative Kane can be, and she also knows how fiercely Nick will protect the people he loves. But the idea of Nick getting so deep into Kane's world, using him as a pawn in Victor's game, leaves a bitter taste in her mouth. "Are you sure this is the right move, Nick?" she asks softly. "I mean, Kane's dangerous. I don't want you getting dragged into something that could hurt you, or worse, hurt us." Nick's face hardens. I'll do whatever it takes to keep my family safe, Sharon. You know that. His voice is firm, resolute. This isn't just about business anymore. It's about protecting the people he loves from the fallout of Victor's decisions. Kane has already targeted the family once before when he nearly killed Nick at the estate in Nice, and that was a wake-up call for him. There's no going back now. He has to play the game the way his father wants it played, or risk losing everything. As he talks, Sharon notices something else in Nick, a side of him she's seen only glimpses of before, but never this clear, this intense. It's the same determination that drove him to take on the weight of the family business, the same drive that made him take risks even when he knew the stakes were too high. It's a side of Nick that she's never fully understood, but one that she's starting to recognize as something that will either make them or break them. I'm not sure I agree with you, Nick, Sharon says softly, her voice tinged with frustration and concern. I don't think this is a game you should be playing. You're walking into something dangerous, and I'm not sure if it's worth it. Nick stares at her, his eyes narrowing. I don't have a choice, Sharon. Victor's already made it clear. If I don't play along, if I don't do what he says, we all lose. And I won't let that happen. Not again. His voice is thick with emotion, and for a moment, Sharon sees the weight of his decision settle heavily on his shoulders. She doesn't know how to respond. The tension between them is palpable, and Sharon feels a deep pang in her heart. She wants to believe in Nick, to trust that he's making the right decision for them, for their future. But as she watches him, she realizes just how far apart their views have grown. This is more than just a business move. This is about loyalty, about family, and about the price Nick is willing to pay for protection. Meanwhile, the situation at Jabot and the Abbott family business is no less complicated. Adam Newman, frustrated by Chelsea's unwavering defense of her ex, Billy Abbott, can't seem to let go of his anger and jealousy. Chelsea, in her efforts to balance her past and present relationships, continues to support Billy, despite the tension it causes in her marriage to Adam. Adam's frustration reaches a boiling point when he confronts Chelsea, his voice sharp with irritation. How many times do I have to hear about Billy, Chelsea? Why are you still defending him? His eyes flare with anger, the undercurrent of jealousy clear. He's just a mess, and you keep acting like he's some kind of hero. Chelsea, taken aback by his outburst, tries to calm him. Adam, I'm not defending Billy like that. I'm just saying he's been there for me in ways you haven't. I can't just turn that off because you want me to. Adam's anger only deepens. So you're still holding on to your little Billy boy obsession? Why can't you just let it go, Chelsea? He's not the same man you remember. His words are biting, and Chelsea feels a pang of frustration. She knows she's not holding on to some grand romantic ideal, but Adam's refusal to understand her connection to Billy is starting to wear on her. I'm not obsessed with Billy, Adam. I just have history with him, and sometimes, history doesn't just go away, she responds, her voice steady, though there's an edge to it now. She's tired of this constant tension, the unspoken resentment between her and Adam whenever Billy's name is mentioned. Adam grits his teeth. You don't get it, Chelsea. He's a liability. And the longer you keep defending him, the more it makes me wonder what you're really hiding from me. The words hit hard, and Chelsea can feel the weight of Adam's distrust settle in her chest. She knows she can't change the way he feels, but it's getting harder to pretend that everything is fine between them. The cracks in their relationship are widening, and no amount of reassurance seems to bridge the gap. Back at Newman Enterprises, the tension isn't just about Nick's decision to align with Kane, it's about the impact of Victor's plan on the whole family. Jack Abbott, who runs Jabot, is at the center of the storm. Sharon's loyalty to Nick and her concerns for his safety stand in stark contrast to the cold, calculating strategy that Victor is pushing for. It's no surprise that Sharon finds herself at odds with Victor's plan. She's always been protective of her loved ones, especially when it comes to the business decisions that put them at risk. Victor's plan may have made sense in the cold logic of business, but Sharon couldn't shake the feeling that there was something deeper at play, something more sinister that she couldn't yet understand. Nick, however, was all in. He was ready to do whatever it took to protect the family, even if that meant embracing the darkness of the Newman empire. As Sharon looks at Nick, she wonders, what price will they pay for their loyalty? And how much longer can she stand by while the man she loves risks everything for the sake of the family's power? It's a question that will hang in the air for a long time to come. In the end, the dynamics between Nick, Sharon, Adam, Chelsea, and the rest of the Newman family are more fragile than ever. Secrets, alliances, and betrayals are brewing, and the choices they make now will determine the future of their relationships and their power in Genoa City.